What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
Come pass without, come shoot within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Schenn. Come pass without, come shoot within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Schenn. Everybody in Enterprise is on the edge of their seats. Blew it down 2-1. It's late, and no one wants to see him get beat. Everybody's in despair, every girl and boy. But when Schenn the forward scores, everybody's gonna jump for joy. Come pass without, come shoot with it. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Schenn. We started with Patera, but everybody knows we traded him away because he sucks and blows. Defense stifling, causing such a muck. But when Schenn the forward gets there, you know he's gonna steal the puck. Come pass without, come pass within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Schenn. Come pass without, come shoot within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Schenn. The hitting is hard and the game is fast. He just signed a big contract with a whole lot of cash. The cup is all we wanted, that is what we cheered. O'Reilly, Quinn, Schenn, and Blues, right brought it here. Come pass without, come shoot within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Schenn. Come pass without, come shoot within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Schenn. Come pass without, come shoot within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Schenn. Come pass without, come shoot within. You'll not see nothing like the BlueNoye Fan.
Presented by Scott Credit Union. Yours.
Fan Report. Hey, everybody. I guess you can say it's kind of a sensational day. How did you like that opening? Wow. I thought it was nice. Erickson Krieger liked it. I got a hell yes from Jason Nichols. Let's see. Ryan Green said 5-minute intro. Close. Close. Let's see here. Share the shows, boys and girls. Thank you. Yeah. Let's not get there. Didn't like Faulk. Well, you gotta. Okay. Let's get it all out in the open. I was close. I got 3 of the 4. And if I was really thinking about listing A's, I would have put Parayko as an A because he'd had one before. I could see him keeping one. The only one I got really wrong was Kairu. And the reason I got Kairu wrong is because the guy up there on the left, on the right, this side, the way you're looking at it, opposite of me, is a pure asshole. Did you see him during the press conference? Is there ever someone who did not want to be there? He didn't want to be there. There was no smile from him. There was no emotion. Unless I'm reading into it. You watched the beginning of that press conference, and I did. I watched the whole 15-minute thing. And there was, I mean, yeah. Oh, no, he did not. Fuck this. You know what? I'm going to do it. If I get in fucking trouble, I get in fucking trouble. I'm to the point, you know what? My show's never going to grow. Why do I care? If I get kicked off of YouTube, great. I don't get freaking, trolled anymore. So give me a moment and let me, find this. Right? Let me find this. That's not the right thing. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I know. I'm all fucked in the head. Don't we love it? Hey, Tammy! How are you? Hi, Tammy. How are you doing? Here we go. Enjoy this. And keep an eye on Baruby. I ask you to keep an eye on Baruby.
Ready to go? First of all, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today in person at the Enterprise Center, on YouTube, and the app. We've come together today to introduce the leadership group for the 23-24 Blues season. The organization is proud to announce Robert Thomas, Justin Faulk, Colton Parayko as assistant captains, and Braden Schenn as the 24th captain in Blues history. As we explored the best direction for the organization moving forward, it became clear that this team needed a veteran player with
Look at that, right there, nothing. And you're going to make me think that you're happy with this? No. This right here is why I think Baruby is the entire problem with the Blues. I know you guys might not believe this, but this is not. I'm sorry. His pass is gone. His pass left when Petrangelo left, when Schwartz left, when Perron left, when Tarasenko left, when O'Reilly left. Right? Well, Tammy, that's not who I want as my coach. And that's not true. I've seen him smile. I've seen him smile at these press conferences. It's just not for me. This is more resting bitch face than I've ever seen from him. This is how I feel about it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just, for me, right there. The proof is in the pudding. Hell, Keenan was more animated than Berube. Okay, thank you. Yeah, E, I know you've been on the Berube, get rid of Berube bandwagon for a long time, right? I don't know if that's the case. I think right now we're in for a really, really long, really, really tough season. I don't think that he gets it. And I also think the choice of the captain shows that. I saw a poll out there where I think it was on Twitter. It was hold on, give me a quick moment. Oh man, it was Rutherford who put it out there. Got to see if I got Rutherford on here. He put it out before the announcement. There, okay. He had just under 4,000 votes, or 5,000 votes, and 73% voted for Schenn, 23% for Thomas, and 4% for other. We want to be the Broad Street Bullies. And we have put it in our mind that because we won the one cup that way, that's the only way you can win a cup. And I don't see it. I don't know. They should be announcing that. I don't know when they'll announce that. Sometime during the season, I guess. Or actually, I would think it would be before the season. I would think it would be before the season. I think that's probably coming soon there, Anthony. He is here, I want to say, for 3 more years. Maybe 4. And he's not that young. He's pushing 30. Here we go. Braden Schenn, Braden Schenn is 32. And counting this year, he'll be here for 5 more years. He has a modified no trade clause that kicks in 25. So you have him for 2 more years for sure. After that, he could be traded. But at $6.5 million, it's going to be hard to trade him, depending on what happens to the cap in 2 years. Doug Armstrong gives out no trade clauses like free samples from a drug dealer. And it's biting us in the ass, right? I don't think it's that, bud. I don't. I know, man. Well, you know, if that's the case, then show it. Because even when he talked, I didn't get that feeling. Yeah, he's not as young as you think. He's 32. Right? That's not true. He didn't give Petro the no movement clause. He offered Petro the no trade. Petro wanted the no movement. No movement, and I didn't realize this. No movement means you can't be waived. You can't go be sent down. You can't be moved from the roster at all. You can't be ditched. You can't be let go and you eat the salary. You can't, and none of that. Right? That's what a no move. So it's not that he didn't offer him a no trade. He did offer him the no trade. He didn't take the no movement. Big difference. It might, but it's biting us in the ass. Kyle, but we've given out too many of them. They are biting us in the ass right now. They are absolutely biting us in the ass. Hey, big thank you to Matt Park, Ryan Green, Sonia Bushing, Harrison Krieger, Jason Nickel, and John Hefner. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. There could be some flack between Armstrong and Berube right now. I don't think so. I disagree with that. I still disagree with that. And he would have gotten. Petro did not want to be here anymore. Petro's wife no longer wanted to live in St. Louis with them young babies. She's even being from St. Louis. She didn't feel like this was the best place to raise her kids, and that's why Petro's gone. I still think Petro's one of the three Blues that have screwed the three former Blues that have screwed the Blues. I absolutely agree with that. Oh man, I was just gonna show some. Oh, here we go. I know I was gonna do something. I'm getting all flummoxed here. I can't remember what I was going to do. Na 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 na. Hey na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yeah, I'm having fun. I think Army and Berube are ways apart in how they want to build a team. Army wants to go with speed, and Berube wants to go with big guys and toughness. And Kyle, you may be right. And I'm on Army's side here. I'm absolutely on Army's side here. Check your inbox on Twitter. Yes, I think there are three Blues, former Blues, that I think have absolutely screwed the Blues over. Three of them. I absolutely, that's my thought process. Berube is, in my opinion, fired already. If not now, he will be at the end of the season. So don't worry. Yeah, but how far is he going to take us down the tube before that happens? That's the concern I have there, right? I think he's saying that with sarcasm. Oh my goodness. Oh. I can't believe I've kept 14 people entertained this long. And I've seen the number up to 16. That's nice. It's nice to see that. It really is. You know, Tammy, I know Berube's on a short leash. And you want to know how I know it? Hey, Craig. I'm about to get it. Craig, if you want to join me tonight, you are more than welcome. Let me know and I'll send you the invite. Because I know you want to let me have it. I know you do. Right? I just lost my point. I just lost my place. Oh, okay, Tammy, there we go. Yes, I know that he's on a short leash. And there's something that was done in the offseason that absolutely tells us that. I got us in 6th. I got us finishing ahead of them, not much ahead of them, but ahead of them. I have us in the bottom 10 again. Oh, well, I appreciate that, but I'm sure I don't. I just have my viewpoint. Right? Yeah, I'm with you. I see us in 6th. I don't see us having a very good season at all. Wow, 11 likes. Wow, this is jumping up. Michael Edwards, Craig Maz, E. Guido, Jeremy Brander, Tammy Pemberton, Matt Park, Ryan Green, Sonia Burshing, and I'm sorry, Borshing, I think I'm saying, Erickson Krieger, Ryan Green, John Hefner, and because Jason Nichols. There we go. I think I got everybody. Yep, I got everybody. Thank you. Well, I mean, you're more than welcome to, bud. I mean, I wasn't right, but I wasn't wrong either. Okay, I did have him handicapped pretty high, but I don't think that. I think you win by putting the puck in the net and not by keeping it out of the net. And the first team that proved that. Oh, somebody. Who's the first team? The first team, I mean the real team in the NHL that proved you win hockey games by putting the puck in the net and not keeping them out of the net. Who was the first real offensive team in the NHL? Might surprise some. I don't think it'll surprise some people, but it's out there. Shockey says, I have us in 5th. I don't know why people have the Jets doing anything. I don't think that they're as much of a shit show as we are. I mean, the bottom half of the division is going to suck. I think we have the weakest division in the NHL right now. Right? Ozone. I don't know what Michael's saying there. Short run in the playoffs. Michael, I'm missing something. I'm not sure where you're going there. Get with the program or in a physical fight on the bench or in the locker room, and it will be someone we least expect. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they're too much. Yeah, Jason got it there. Bingo! 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 Hello, Shagalicious.
How we doing, guy? How we doing?
I'm doing. Look, I guess I'm in rare form tonight. Look, I
Hey,
don't have a
You
problem.
went at the second I heard you on, I was like, hey, we're either getting a guy that's just, what are the Blues doing? What are the Blues doing? Or we're getting a guy that's going to be like completely like, okay, but I think I mentioned it very short on my comment, but Schenn, look, what was Schenn's comment? It wasn't, I'm ready to lead this team. He said, I want to bring the players together. What does that tell you, guy? What does that tell you?
I know.
That tells you
I
they
know.
were not
And it's,
together, and the coach thinks.
yeah, the locker room is still lost.
Yeah, and then no, he as a captain obviously feels that's the number one thing to take care of.
But here's the thing. Look at the picture behind me. Can you see that decently?
Yeah, look, Berube in my eyes, and I told you this. Berube in my eyes, it did not want a captain, and I'll tell you why. He probably felt, hey, this team's not up for it. We're still rebuilding. I'm here for the long run. I got this. Because I'm here for the long run, I know that we're in a rebuild mode. I'm not about this whole thing of let's just make this guy a captain. And meanwhile, the ownership went, yeah, we're probably done with this guy. We're going to keep him in for a little while because, his contract's almost done, and we probably don't want him back anyways. So, we're going to live him out this year. I don't think he makes it through the year, honestly, because I think the Blues get off to one of the worst starts in their history.
I don't know if they get off to one of their worst starts in their history because I don't think anything could ever be as bad as the 04, 05, 06 season. But I mean, they're not that bad. They didn't.
No. It doesn't necessarily have to be the worst in history, but they definitely are not going to start off necessarily great. I mean, Berube, honestly, how many cups have the Oilers won with that style of play?
Hold on.
This is
Greg,
something.
I want to answer this question. How many cups have the Oilers won with that style of play? 5. 5 cups they won with that style of play. The Oilers were the first team ever in the NHL that reverted to an offensive system, a system where they knew it was more important to put the puck in the net than it was to keep the puck out of the net. That was the Gretzky era, the Messier era, the Fuhrer era, all of that. And that group won 5 cups. 5 cups. How many did
It wasn't just about that. You know what? Those Oiler teams were solid from top to bottom. It wasn't just.
But you look at Grant Fuhrer's GAA. It's not one of the greatest in the world. It's like 3.6,
right.
3.5. Right? People always bring it up as a reason he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. That's because they didn't play defense in front of him.
Right.
Right? They didn't. They left him hung out to dry consistently because Glenn Sather figured out with the guys he had that it was you were going to win more games by scoring more points than you were by keeping the puck out of the net. The defensive style wasn't going to work with the guys he had. And not only did they do it, another team at the same era did the same thing. Not with the greatest of guys, but still with that type of guys. In fact, one of them is one of your guys. A New York guy, not a Ranger guy, but a New York guy. What's another team in that same era that won games the same way? By scoring, huh?
Islanders.
The Islanders. The Islanders saw Edmonton do it, turn around.
Well,
They did it.
They also did it with great goalkeeping.
Yeah, they had the goal. But the thought process of the Islanders was score more than you let scored upon you. It wasn't a defensive mindset. It wasn't a defensive mindset. That's what I'm getting at. That's a fair point, except that let's go back, Craig. How far do you let's go back to the salary cap era. Let's go back to the salary cap era, which is the strike after the strike, the 04 season, 04-05 season, it goes away. 05-06 is the start of the salary cap era. How many teams? That looked like a young guy. Is that your wife?
Excuse me?
That
was my wife. She had to pass through.
looked like you had a nephew or something there.
Let me explain you something. I have never had in this apartment really. Besides my wife and I and our child. Yeah. I don't get many visitors over here.
Okay.
He's trying to say.
Let me get back.
Yeah. You
go back to the 05-06 season. That's the start of the salary cap era. And you look at every single Stanley Cup champion from 05-06 to now. And tell me how many teams won with a defensive style.
The Golden Knights were a defensive style.
No.
You don't consider that defensive? Well, that's true.
Not with the amount of goals they were putting up on it. Not with the amount of goals they were putting up on a nightly basis.
I mean, you could. Well, they were leading the NHL in turning over their opponents, so that just gives you more chances and odd man rushes.
Where are we at? Oilers were big and tough and defensive. Also, they were not defensive. They weren't defensive. In fact, just yesterday.
One second. What about the Kings? Kings against the Rangers.
The 14 and I think
that was a team that.
The 12 and 14 Kings don't seem like they were that defensive to me once it got to the playoffs. Maybe they were in the regular season, but once they got to the playoffs, they weren't.
They were a defensive team. They were bigger. They were.
Okay, I'll give you one of them. I'll give you the 12 team.
All right, give me the 12 team. No.
So far from 2006 to today, we have one team. And there's one other one.
Right. Do you know why defense?
We have two teams.
You know why defensive teams don't win?
The Blues. The Blues won with the defensive style.
But why? Why doesn't defensive teams win?
Because in the NHL, your defense is more connected to your offense than it is in any other sport.
Well, I'll tell you more than that. In hockey, you're not winning a game without having an elite scorer on your team. If you have a team that does not have that, and you're just a team that maybe from top to bottom defensively is great, you're pretty much putting yourself into the Islander games right now. If you watch the Islander games now, what you'll see is amazing defense. You will see them pretty much never get blown out, but you're going to see constantly them losing games 2-1, 3-2, 4-3, 5-4, because they cannot keep up as defensive as they are. They cannot put up the goals.
Chris, who said that the time of the captain in NHL is coming to an end? Who said that? I missed one of your comment. But Army said he didn't want a captain. When did he say that? I'm a little lost there. Right? I'm maybe a little lost.
They're going to take out the captain completely from the game.
Army said it. When did he say it? When did he say it? When did I miss this?
From the game? What is he?
Was it? It wasn't today, was it? I'm not sure. Oh, after Ryan was traded. Okay. Fair. See, and maybe that's why I felt that there wasn't going to be a captain.
Well, I think
Right?
Berube thought the same
And you
thing
know
as
what?
I think Berube thought
Oh,
the same
wow. I just had a thought. Oh, they didn't have balance. Man, they got blown out. They got blown out in what? 2 of the finals games, if not 3.
What would you what's the 3 most important things on a hockey team to win a cup? I'm gonna go from bottom to top.
Say again?
What's the 3 most important things when it comes to winning a cup? For a team to win a cup, I will say number 3 is the power play. I will say number 2 is, like you say, cycling, moving the puck, and number 1 is goaltending. And that's how you win a cup.
Yeah, Craig. I look, man. I don't want you to think I'm arguing with you because I'm not. I'm
number 1.
I believe. No, Craig. I just want to say this. I believe what I believe. I use the show to express my beliefs. People that can come on here, you are absolutely welcome to your opinion. You're welcome to throw it in there, and if I like it, I'll say it. If I don't, I'll say it. So that's what you're going to get from me. You're going to get an honest description. Balance doesn't mean win every game, and that's fine. But you know what? You say you want balance, but there is no balance on this team.
Yeah, but balance means more competitive, and if you don't have that competitive nature to your team, you're done. You're
Right?
done. And when you see Armstrong jumping, right, to go ahead and get himself a captain, it tells me he himself is worried about that locker room. Because you don't put a captain up there unless you felt like this is a guy that's staying with this team, that we want with this team, that's going to lead this team, and that this is a person that brings us together. That's the entire point of a captain.
Even today, Army. Okay, I got to go back and listen to that. I didn't hear that. Maybe I was paying attention to other thing. Michael Edwards said offense, goaltending, teamwork.
I mean,
I enjoy everyone who comes on the show. I really do. I don't want people to think I'm arguing or trying to be argumentative or any of that. It's my platform, and that's. Is that conceited? Maybe. But anybody who does this, it's their platform. Right? I mean, to be honest, I've other, podcasts that I've been on, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Right? Well, because for the longest period of time, the Canadians were basically the only team in the league. Why is that? The Canadians have
Canadians.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a very tough question to answer because you have a team like the Rangers who went 10 years, 12 years straight to the playoffs, went deep many times.
Well, the thing is during the original six era,
the Canadians,
the best players went to the Canadians. I don't know when the draft officially came in, but it was basically Montreal would go, kids that were good were only going to sign with Montreal.
The first NHL draft was in 1963, and it was
63.
And it was and guess where it was held? I think it was held in some hotel in Montreal.
Yeah, right.
Like this was literally like Canadians just getting their Canadians to come to their team in a more formal way. Yeah,
well, this was the other team saying, "Hey, enough of this." With Montreal getting all, because look at from 63 since the draft, how many cups has Montreal won? Vice, how many cups they won before the draft? I think the majority of their cups came before the draft, not after. In fact, I bet you go back and look at it, I think they've won. I only think they've won 6 cups since the draft in
Let me
'63.
see right now because I have the list of cups in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the math right now.
I'm saying 6 cups. I could be wrong, but I'm saying 6 cups.
1963. They won it back to back in 1965 and 1966.
Okay.
And then 1968 and 1969, they won again back to back. 1971, they won it again. 1976, 7, and 8, they won it 4 times in a row. No,
How many? Say it again.
Something's off here. 1 second. No. This is oh, it's going by that. Sorry, 1 second. Let me get this better. Oh, here we go. Canadians since 1968. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They have 15 cups, the Canadians.
Since '63?
Yeah.
Oh, that don't sound right.
They have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They had 20 before 63, and they have 15 after.
No, that's not right because
No.
that's not right because
Right,
they've only won
too many
24 cups. They've only won 24 cups.
Yeah, let me check.
I think you're looking at conference titles, not the cup.
1 second.
Yeah,
Here we
I
go.
knew that's
Since
not right.
1963, since 1963, they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They've won 12. They've won.
No, that's not right. That's
No,
not
it
right.
is. They won in 1965, 66, 68, 69, 71, 73, 76, 77, 78, 79, 1986, and 1993.
93 was their last one.
Right. And before the draft, they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They won 13 before.
They've only won 24, so that numbers don't add up.
This is the number that they have. They've won 25 times, it says.
I thought it was 24.
They won 25 times.
Okay.
Yeah, and since 1963, yeah. So they've won after it. Either way, they won a lot more than you think after it. Look, here's the thing.
I'll agree with what you're saying there. I'll agree with what you're saying there, Craig.
I don't think it's the draft that you have to look at. I think you also have to look at the fact that you have to wait till everyone started moving to really look at when like more teams came to the league and people started moving around.
Expansion has something to do with it, but if you really want to look at it, you know what destroyed Montreal? Free agency.
Oh yeah, because then everyone just went for money to some places.
Well, one of the things back when free agency first came in the early 90s, and not only just early 90s, but when originally guys who played for the Canadian teams got their money in Canadian dollars. So they actually got paid less. Right? So if you signed a $5 million contract, when you went to Canada, if you were making $5 million in the States and got traded to Canada, you were now making $5 million in Canadian money, which was less than US money. They have changed that now. All players are paid in US dollars. All players are paid in US dollars now.
You have to realize that the entire idea of what the entire idea of what hockey started off to what it's become was it started off as this small thing of, hey, hockey's cool. Let's put it together. So every Canadian person said, "Oh yeah, we're going to the Canadians." So you pretty much had the dominant team every time. And as expansion came, as free agency came, as the draft came in, and you had younger people getting more to the sport, it was not like baseball where every kid grew up with it. Hockey is a sport where not every kid grows up. If you look around the world, I think there are less hockey fans out there, especially in the United States, than there are football, baseball, or basketball fans. Maybe not specifically, but definitely there is less. And one of the reasons why is because hockey is, as much as it's followed, the people that follow hockey. No one's like, "Hey, yo, let's just go to a baseball game."
I remember, I thought it was you that said this. I thought it was you that said that hockey worldwide was the third most spectator sport.
Yes, watching it, yes, but we're talking about following. We're talking about little kids jumping towards a sport.
I remember us having this conversation. I remember us having this conversation because everybody was shocked at what number 2 was.
Right.
Number 1, the most watched sport in the world is football, or soccer, as we call it.
It's soccer. Then I think it went soccer, then NFL.
No, it's not NFL. The number 2 most watched spectator sport in the world. I know. You guys aren't ready for this. You are not ready for this? The number 2 most watched spectator sport in the world is
cricket.
No.
According to this, it is.
It's F1.
Yeah. Is what? Tennis?
F1.
Oh, F1. Well, according to my research here, it actually goes. This is according to a research that was done on Sportstel. They, according to this one, it's soccer with 4 billion, cricket with 2.5, hockey with 2 billion, tennis at 1 billion, volleyball at 900 million, table tennis at 875 million, basketball, baseball, rugby, golf.
No auto racing in there.
No. Now,
yeah, see, I know that's wrong.
The question is if some people do not consider F1 as the same level of sports as these other sports. Like you don't see track racing in here, you don't see horse racing in here.
Yeah,
but if you actually
that's why I know for a fact F1.
I think F1. You know what? Here's the thing. There's 2 different discussions. There's F1 watching and there's F1 following. I don't think a lot of people follow F1 compared to watching F1.
But I think that's
people
the same with any sport. I think that's the same with any sport.
More people that watch the Indiana 500 over watching a random hockey game. I think that there's more people watching the Indiana 500.
I learned this. Hold on, I got to jump in here, Shag. I really learned this while I was stationed overseas, and I think I was somewhere. God, I want to say I was somewhere in Japan at the time. I want to say I was in Nagano. No, not Nagano. I was up north. Hokkaido, somewhere around there. I was at a bar and we were talking, and I brought up that F1 just wasn't that popular, and the guy goes, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, you hardly ever see it in the States." He says, "Well, wait a minute. You need to, you go back and you look." And this was. The internet was coming to play, but it wasn't really in play yet. But you go back and look, and everywhere else in the world, I mean, these F1 races are followed every day. The races are completely sold out. The TV that they're set up in everywhere else but the US. F1 is a huge sport. Americans tend to think that the world revolves around us. And because we think that sometimes we don't look at what's going on in other sports. Like for us, if you ask an American, what is the biggest sport? 90% of them are going to tell you the NFL.
And that's because the NFL made the best marketing pitch, and they are.
It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with soccer has never clicked here.
Well, guess what? I think that soccer is something. First of all, let's go to a different point, guy, that we've discussed a million times, and that is how easy is it to watch these sports? When do you have on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, without going onto ESPN Plus to pay extra? So if that means if you get any type of cable, oh gosh. I could go all day with that, Ryan. I could just go on with a lot of things about the Maple Leafs and Cups. Like they forget.
You could almost say the same thing about the last time the Rangers won the Cup.
Oh, thank you so much. Mr. Blues fan over here trying to just say that their team's not in a worse situation after they won a cup. Okay? The question is, would I rather win that cup and then be screwed over like the rest of my system? Or would I rather be a frustrated Rangers fan?
Well, you know what? Before we go on, there is something that happened in the NHL that we need to talk about that I've glossed over and I haven't talked about it. It's the Columbus Blue Jackets. And
gosh. I am so happy the Rangers avoided him. Whew.
You know, I've got to be really careful. Maybe I don't understand enough about what happened, but I think this was a lot to do about nothing. I don't think I understand.
Because you have to understand that I'm thinking that most of the story isn't out there. That's why.
And that might be.
Like we discussed this, guy. We've gone through this a bunch of times. You get these things in the media that just goes ahead and says this, and that. And me and you and I have seen how many times the media lets out half a story. Okay? We've seen that with Tarasenko. We've seen that so many times. And I'm telling you right now that the half of this story isn't there. The fact that you see him resign and not stand up to what he's doing, and the fact that you see him having to do that, and he wasn't fired, he resigned. It tells you there's something more to this story, and the media will not let it out, and it'll come out in 2 years from now, and everyone will understand the story better.
I think where he may have gone wrong is he put guys' family pictures up on a big screen. That may have been the point here. What he was trying to do was show this is who you play for. This is who you play for. At least that's my feeling.
I think it was more than that. I think he was also going through their phones and, maybe like trying to get to know them. Sometimes, one of the ways you can connect.
But I think that he asked to go through their phone or asked them.
Well, some of them
he asked them to show them. Show them pictures.
Well, let's go back to the Boone Jenner thing. Boone Jenner put out, I think it was Boone Jenner, put out a thing that, but he did it with my permission. He went through our phone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying at the end of the day, we don't know what happened there. My opinion on this whole thing is that the story is not clear. And Babcock most probably was trying to accomplish something. It's not a question of something that's inappropriate. You guys should not. I do not think it was a question of being inappropriate. I think he was trying to accomplish something as a coach and thought this idea would work, and it did not work out. And maybe he did it the wrong way, and he's regretting it. And he should have probably done it a little bit more, either open to how he does it, or have been more of a given a better media thing right away, like sending out a thing and a better idea of what he was doing. If I'm a coach and I want to connect with my players, yes, showing them their family or going through their phones with them and getting to see their family or things they care about. Yes, it's a nice way to connect. And every person loves to show pictures of their kids or their family, their wedding, their this, their that. But it's not. I honestly think that no coach in the NHL has ever done that. And so therefore, I don't know what Babcock was thinking, because you've got that's just not a thing. But I'm telling you, the story is not clear. I do not understand it. I think that Babcock would not have done this if he was on New York. It's the fact that he's in Columbus and no one really looks at them. But Columbus should feel terrible in general, because I think now first of all, was Gallant hired yet?
Say again.
Is Gerard Gallant hired yet?
Is who?
Gallant.
No.
Is that the next coach?
No, they've got I think that they're going to stick with the guy that they interned. I don't think they hire. They got their assistant coach, who's been passed up twice over, is now the coach, and I don't think that they're gonna. You can't bring a coach in. You can't bring a coach in now. To me, if you're bringing a coach in now, that's a knee-jerk reaction, and everybody sees it as that.
Well, I have the feeling that the Blue Jackets, with the fact that they are very much are very much a team that has gone out for players, like with Huberdeau or whatever. Oh gosh, oh no, I knew this was coming. Ryan, I expected this. Last time the Rangers won the cup, OJ was arrested. Okay, the first online version was made for pizza, and spandex short shorts was in fashion. Okay, if the Rangers win the cup this year, okay,
that's a big if.
We are going to have to make a deal, Ryan, because we're going to have to do something here, because I can't say they're going to win it.
That's a big if.
I mean, I can't say they're going to win it, but they've added some players, a lot of players that I think was huge holes on this team when it comes to, let's say, depth at defenseman, and when it comes to depth in general, they've gotten much better, in my opinion, with the money that they had. Holy cow! But if they win it, I was gonna say I was gonna wear spandex shorts for a day, but there is no way my wife would even let me make that. but if they do,
who wear short shorts? We wear short shorts. The old Nair commercial.
Yes. But if
I'm showing my age there.
Oh, God. I feel like Ryan. I think I should make Ryan. If the Blues wear the cup, I'll wear it. If the Blues wear a cup, I'll wear spandex short shorts. If the Blues wear the cup, I'll do that.
I could right now. I see the Blues winning a cup before I see the Rangers winning a cup.
Okay, guy. This is the point in the show where we don't say things like that, because then everyone's not believing you. Okay, at this point,
it's absolutely everyone's believing me. I don't think the Rangers. I don't think the Rangers know how to build a team around their great goaltending.
I don't think you understand, guy. The common denominator between the Blues and the Rangers is they each have a first line and a goalie and a good pairing at top defenseman. Okay? After that, we go to depth. I'll take the Rangers any day. But you want to talk about age? Yes, they're younger. They have more of a chance of building a team, the Blues have. And the Rangers are in a worse cap situation. I agree. I just believe that in New York, they will always get better players. They'll always have better free agents.
Rangers went all in last season and failed.
They didn't go all in my opinion. You know what they went? They went all
How many draft picks did they give up?
Guy, let me finish. They went all into a toilet bowl. Okay?
They what?
All into a toilet bowl. What they did was stupid. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They went all in and lost.
That's not called all in. Okay? Patrick Kane was the stupidest move. And I'm being straight up honest here. You could, from today to tomorrow, tell me that, a prime Kane, if you get him, that's ridiculous for your team. But let me explain to you, and Guy, this is easy for any sport. Bringing in a new player doesn't take that quick for this thing to generate. How many how many trades or free agents mid-season did the Golden Knights bring in?
I didn't hear you, Shike.
How many trades or moves did they make mid-season, the Golden Knights? How many moves this year did they make?
2 or 3. Players? They didn't make a lot.
But nothing big, right?
No. Well, no, they made one big one.
Which one?
Think about it. They made
What?
one big one. They made one that really affected their team and helped them win the cup.
Who are you referring to?
Barbashev.
That is not a top 6 line player.
Huh?
That's not one of their top 6. That's my point. They could have brought in a big name, but they didn't bring in a top. We're not talking about a Patrick Kane who landed on their second line.
Yeah, but the Barbashev played on their
No. I
second and
understand
third
that,
line.
guy. My point is that they didn't go out like the Rangers and go pick up all these big names. You don't see there are teams like the Oilers who I felt like should have gone after the bigger names. They got to get McDavid a cup in there. All right? Like forget about the Rangers making fun of them and making fun of the Maple Leafs. Very nice that Austin Matthews is the top 5 player in the NHL. The number 1 player in the NHL hasn't won a cup.
True. Well, Shag, we're a little over an hour now, and I'm gonna call it. We got training camp opening up in 2 days. 2 days training camp opens up.
And you know why I hate training camp?
Why?
That's when the injuries start coming in.
Yep.
You ready for that, guy? Injury day starting in 2 days, guys.
Actually, I say the majority of injuries. You're going to start hearing about the injuries by Monday because a lot of teams will play their.
Guy, who's the first big name player to be out for the season?
Ooh, how
man! You can first before you say the answer. Let's put on top of that list Max Pacioretty next. Who's number 2?
See, I can't go there, man. I can't because I don't want to wish anybody injury, and you just never know.
Okay, I hear that guy.
What it comes down to me, you got to look. Preseason games start Saturday. Arizona's playing.
Do not put up Jason's comment because
I see
that comes up.
Arizona is playing 4 games this weekend.
Oh boy!
Right, they're playing 2 against St. Louis, and then they play 2 against the Kings in Australia.
Guy, do you have what happens with in your league, your fantasy league? What happens with new players entering the league, either rookies or players that were not on teams last year or IR players that weren't?
So we've got a couple of different ways that this works. Unless if a player comes into the league, right? If he had a chance, like the guys that were just drafted, we were eligible to draft them now, right? If guys that go to college, if we didn't draft them this season, guys that go to college, if they come in, then we can pick them up as a free agent. But if a guy didn't get drafted, goes to college, and then gets picked up as a free agent, he has to go through another draft for us. Right? So guys that didn't get drafted or don't sign contracts and go to college or whatever, that come in as late free agents have to go through another draft for us.
Yeah, I have actually a fantasy draft coming up. I'm very much hoping I get to sneak again Clayton Keller into my draft. I've been doing this for years and just stealing Clayton Keller out of the hands of every one of these players because Clayton Keller is a guy that's been rocking up those points, and everyone goes, "Oh, it's the Coyotes." Is there any idea of when the Coyotes are actually going to be putting up a normal stadium, or that's not even been discussed?
No, it is. They're working on a stadium. It sounds like within 3 years.
You would love if the Coyotes moved to Hawaii, right?
No.
No.
Hockey, it's just now the Knights winning the Cup is just now. I'm starting to see people wearing Knights jerseys here.
Yeah.
Right. And when I was doing Uber heavily, I would get people that would come in and talk about the Knights.
Who's going to get a bigger fan base when the Athletics move to Vegas or when the Coyotes move to wherever they do?
I have concerns about teams moving to Vegas. Right?
Well, I mean, the Knights just won the Cup from there.
Yeah, but
You
and
get a free
that's
fan base. You get a free fan base pretty much because every person that goes to Vegas is coming to our game.
yeah.
I mean,
That's it's not what it is you get a lot of travel fans. You get a
well,
lot
it's
of
not
fans.
about where you
I
go.
went to a game in Vegas. I
Yeah,
went
but
to the
guy,
Blues first
it's
game
not
ever.
about where you go. It's, in my opinion, it's not about where you go. It's about how do you do it where you go. Look what the Knights did. They created a team. Everyone wants to watch their pregame ceremonies and stuff because they built not just a regular team. They built it with like a certain creativity and they brought a certain energy to it. I think that's the same thing you have to bring. Any team that moves to another city, you can't just move there and get your stadium and move on. You got to add that, fresh take to the team in which everyone goes, hey, yo, that's so cool. I'm going for that. Like the Kraken. How many people? No one hates the Kraken.
The Kraken, hold on. The Kraken are a different story. The Kraken had a built-in fan base to begin with.
True, 100%.
Because they're only, 50 miles? They're an hour from Vancouver.
Right.
So it was not hard to go to a game in Vancouver, plain and simple. Now that you have Seattle, they already had that built-in fan base. That was the one thing. That's the one thing that Vegas didn't have. They couldn't teach their fans how to lose. They had to win now. And because they won now and they ended up going all in and winning the cup, I mean, it's amazing that they won a cup as quick as they won a cup. But doing that really is going to help them to build again. I think that the one that concerns me is the NHL wants to go back to Atlanta.
That's not.
I think the NHL's got to go to a Canadian city first.
Well, either Canadian or I believe that you're going to have to just go out to either, whether it's going to build, whether it's going to either another Florida city or another California city. Do you want to go to, maybe you want to go to San Francisco? Do you want to go?
No, because you've got the Sharks.
You got Kansas City.
No, well, Kansas City's a maybe.
Tennessee.
Huh?
Tennessee has Nashville. I mean, the
Well,
question
the one there is Memphis. Memphis is a possibility.
Houston.
Right? With Memphis, you have the possibility of taking Nashville and putting them in the East.
Correct.
Right? But the problem with Nashville is it's still a Central Division team.
Correct. Yeah.
They're not a Central Time Zone team is what I meant. They're not in the Eastern Time
There's
Zone.
no place in the Eastern Time thing that I think you're going to get a good fan base, except for really Atlanta, or maybe you're going out to.
You're missing one. You're missing a huge one. Nope, bigger than that. Baltimore, you've got the Caps. You're missing. There's an obvious one in the East.
New Orleans.
Nope. Bigger than New Orleans. In my eyes, for the NHL, you're missing the obvious one.
Cleveland.
Nope. More north.
Oh, more north. Detroit has a team. Chicago
More
has
north.
a team.
I can't believe you're missing this, Shags.
Yeah, we're all
Quebec City. You have to put a team in Quebec.
It's
You
nice.
have to bring back the Nordiques.
Oh,
You
God.
absolutely have to bring back the Nordiques.
I think the NHL would not be, as much as we might agree on that.
The longest tenured commissioner. He's really the only commissioner the NHL's ever had. His time is coming. All the other sports have had commissioners change hands since Bettman's been there, and Bettman's time is coming. It's obvious to me Bettman's time is coming. I don't think that'll be as big a rivalry as you think it will be, because the when St. Louis had football teams, the rivalry with Kansas City was never there. Never there. Right? Never there. Indianapolis, are they a Eastern time zone team? They may. I don't know if they're in the Eastern time zone or not. They might be in the Central time zone. I'm not sure. But that's an interesting one.
What's his call? 1 second. Indianapolis. The reason why I do not see that working, the fan base for hockey there, I don't know if necessarily they'll get it. I think that Atlanta will get the same amount of attention there. I do not think that Indianapolis is any better. So,
Well, see, Chris, you say that, but remember, back in the day, when the Cardinals were there and when the Rams were there, they still played at least once a year. They played a preseason game for the Governor's Trophy every year. So there was always that play, and it would shift back and forth between St. Louis and Kansas City. So the necessity to create the attempt to create a rivalry was there. I don't know if we need more teams, right? But I honestly would like to see a team. I would not. I'm okay with Indianapolis. That's one. That's one I might be okay with. All right. Well, you know what, guys? I gotta go. I appreciate you. It's an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm not in mid-season form yet, so I'm not ready to be online for 4 hours at a time. Shags, thanks for joining me tonight. Greatly appreciate it.
Great show. Great show.
Well, guys, have a great night. This is Guy saying aloha. You know what? What do I always say, boys?
Who are you, Blues fan? We're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!